Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate.
Later.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Flashback.
And it does play right into this national conversation we've been having about free speech. How do you see those issues given, free speech on one hand and yet the dangerous spread of misinformation and hateful rhetoric that's inciting some of these attacks on the other?
Well, first of all, Jake, I love hearing you curse. It's one of my favorite things. I know it only happens like once every... I feel like you did it just for me tonight.
I only quote people cursing. I never curse on my own. It's only when it's within quotations. The Trump era gave me a lot of opportunities to do that, by the way.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's like CNN After Dark. I have to say, I am not, when I am the voice of decency, we've got a problem, because the idea that this old man, an 82-year-old man, has been attacked in his bed in his home by a person who obviously has some problems, and that our first reaction isn't, oh my goodness, even if they're lying, even if they're pretending to have concern, how can the reaction possibly be? How can we move so quickly to smearing these people, to trying to create some, and by the way, now that the police report is out, I haven't exactly seen Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Donnie Jr. correcting them and saying, oh my goodness, now that we read the facts of the story, certainly we feel terrible that we spread these vicious lies around, and we retract them and apologize to the Pelosi family. No, you'll never see that.
End of flashback.
In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great... For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, what do you mean dead? Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean...
Flashback.
He was very hurt when he saw this, but, everybody was. Oh, when I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great... For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in. They said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, what do you mean dead? Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, you know. And I said, dead? You got, and it was like, I just told these people, get out, just go, you got it. This is the worst thing. This was so bad for our country.
End of flashback.
Who thinks like that? And why are we building a $200 million ballroom?
150 years they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout.